In today's video, we're breaking down Typeset and answering a very simple question. What can it actually design for you and what can it not do? What's up, you guys? My name's Ashley, and if you've seen Typeset mentioned as an AI design tool and felt unsure whether it's something you actually need, this video is going to help you decide. We're going to talk through what Typeset is built for, what kind of assets it's good at creating, and where people tend to misunderstand it, and also who this tool is realistically for. This matters because there's a lot of AI tools out there, and it's really important to set expectations and make sure that you are investing in the ones that actually fit your workflow. So let's start off with the basics and talk about what Typeset is. So Typeset is an AI-powered design and layout tool that turns written content into design digital assets. Its focus is not web pages or funnels or anything like that. Its focus is visual formatting and layout. At its core, Typeset sits between writing and design. You bring the content and the tool handles how that content is presented visually. That includes spacing, typography, layout structure, and overall design flow. So instead of opening a design tool and manually arranging text boxes, images, and sections, Typeset applies design logic automatically. The goal is to help non-designers create assets that look intentional and professional without needing to understand design rules. This distinction is very important because Typeset is not trying to be everything. It's really trying to solve one specific problem really well. To understand what Typeset does build, it's also important to understand what it does not. So Typeset is not a landing page builder. It does not create websites. It does not design scrolling web experiences, and it does not replace builders, funnel tools, or website platforms. Everything Typeset produces is meant to exist as a standalone visual assets. These are things you download, present, share, or upload, not pages you scroll through in a browser. Understanding this upfront is really important, so you go into it knowing exactly what it does. Now let's talk about what Typeset can design for you. Now, where Typeset shines is creating designed content assets. These are materials that traditionally require a designer or a lot of manual formatting. Typeset can be used to create things like downloadable PDFs, lead magnets, long-form reports, proposals, pitch decks, webinar slides, and presentation-style documents. It's also capable of producing visual assets like social media posts, banners, ads, thumbnails, and course materials. In other words, if the final output is something visual that communicates information in a structured way, Typeset is designed for that. This makes it especially relevant for teams and creators who produce content regularly and want to look polished without slowing down production. Now, content creation itself is not the bottleneck anymore. Most teams can generate text quickly. The real bottleneck is turning that text into something presentable. Design still takes time. Designers can be expensive and revisions can be slow. And for small teams, design often becomes the step that delays publishing. Now, Typeset exists to remove that delay. It doesn't replace designers for high-end brand work, but it does fill a gap where you need something clean and good enough to ship. For many teams, that's the difference between publishing consistently and never finishing assets at all. Okay, now let's talk about how Typeset actually works in practice. So Typeset starts with content. That content might be raw notes, a written draft, or a structured outline. Once the content is inside Typeset, the platform applies layout and design rules automatically. Instead of you deciding where headings go, how spacing works, or how sections should be visually grouped, Typeset handles those decisions for you. It uses predefined design systems to organize content in a readable, professional way. The experience feels very different from traditional design tools. You're not adjusting margins or dragging elements around. You're really focusing on the message and the tool handles the presentation. That's really the trade-off here. You give up granular control in exchange for speed and simplicity. Typeset works best after writing and before distribution. It's not where ideas are born and it's not where strategy is decided. A common workflow can look like this. First, you write out the content somewhere else, maybe in Notion or your notes or Google Drive, whatever it may be. Once that content is ready, it's brought into Typeset to be turned into a finished asset. For agencies, this might mean turning a proposal draft into a client-ready document. For creators, it might mean turning long-form content into a lead magnet or downloadable guide. For teams, it might mean formatting internal documentation or training materials. Typeset speeds up the final step that usually takes the longest. Now let's talk about how Typeset compares to traditional design tools. So traditional design tools give you full creative control, but that control comes with complexity. You need to understand layout, hierarchy, spacing, and visual balance. Even simple documents can take a long time to format properly. Typeset removes most of those decisions. It applies design automatically, which makes the output so much faster, but definitely less customizable. This makes it a better fit for people who care more about speed speed than artistic expression. If you want everything pixel controlled, Typeset is definitely going to feel limiting, but if you want something clean and usable very quickly, it's very freeing, honestly. Neither approach is better, they just solve different problems. Typeset makes the most sense for people who create structured content regularly and want it to look professional without spending hours on design. This includes agencies producing proposals and client deliveries, educators creating course materials and slides, marketers building lead magnets and reports, and creators offering downloadable content. If you care about speed, this tool is going to naturally fit into your workflow and make everything so much faster. Typeset is not ideal for you if your main focus is web design, funnels, or landing pages. It's also not a great fit if you need deep customization or brand-specific design control. If you enjoy manual design or rely heavily on custom layouts, this tool may feel a bit restrictive. And if your primary challenge is deciding what to say rather than how to present it, you may need a different type of tool first. Again, it's about matching the tool to the job. Okay, now let's talk about the pros and cons so you can decide if it's a good fit for you. So one of the biggest strengths of Typeset is speed. It allows you to turn written content into polished assets very quickly without the design friction. It also lowers the barrier to entry for people who are not designers but still want their content to look professional. Another benefit is consistency. Because the design logic is automated, assets tend to look cohesive across different projects. The main downside is limited customization. You're working with Typeset's design system, not building everything from scratch. Overall, it's a very focused tool that does one thing well instead of trying to do everything. Now let's go ahead and look at the different plans and pricing options. So once you click our link down in the description below, we'll go ahead and go to pricing. Okay, so they have two options for payments. You can go ahead and pay yearly or you can pay monthly. You can save 20% off with the annual plan, so I'm going to go over that because you do get a bonus AI design masterclass. With this plan, you get unlimited projects, full sharing, decks and documents, social media and graphics, 5 million Unsplash library, 100 million Getty images, AI assistant, PDF, PNG, and PPT export. And again, that bonus design masterclass. They also have a 30-day money back guaranteed, so if you're not feeling like it works best for your workflow, you can go ahead and get your money back, no questions asked. Now, if you frequently create PDFs, reports, proposals, slides, maybe ebooks, or other design content and want to move faster without relying on a designer, Typeset really removes a real bottleneck and helps teams ship content more consistently. I know how frustrating it could be to have content ready but feel stuck when it comes time to actually design it, and that's why tools like Typeset exist to remove that friction so you can focus on getting your work out into the world. If you want to check out Typeset, don't forget to use our link down in the description below. I do want to mention that these are affiliate links, which means we may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So if you do choose to use our links, we just want to thank you so much in advance for supporting our channel. It really helps us to continue to create free content just like this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any questions or comments below. We'd love to hear from you. This channel is dedicated to breaking down software tools in a simple, honest way so you can grow your business. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.